Oh, no.
Welcome to the Now. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Adam.
Sonic is back, you guys. The release of Sega's retro love letter to Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic Mania, is officially out tomorrow, bringing in the first new proper series entry for consoles in years.
But is he just like back, as in Sega slapped him into another shitty Sonic game?
They do that a lot.
Or is he actually back?
Like back.
As in he's actually in a good game after a long period of waiting.
Well, reviews for the game are now dropping all over the web, which means we can finally answer that burning question, besides, does he go fast? More importantly, is it good?
So far, the answer to that question seems to be, rather shockingly for those of us who have been playing every game in the franchise, well, yes. Yes, it is. We've got a good Sonic game, guys. At the time of writing, Sonic Mania has sprinted its way to an 86 on both Metacritic and OpenCritic.
That's just a tiny bit higher than some of the other more recent entries. If you're wondering, Sonic Boom Fire and Ice for the 3DS came in at 62, while 2014's Sonic Boom Shattered Crystal clocked in a low speed of 47, 2013's Lost World now to 63, and Generations raced to a 77 average. So, yeah, handing the game over to a bunch of fans did the trick.
As for how the new reviews of Sonic Mania break out from major outlets, 6-Axis gave it a 10 out of 10, GamesBeat gave it a 93 out of 100, Attack of the Fanboy awarded it a 4.5 out of 5, GameSpot and DualShockers both scored it a 9 out of 10, it got an 8.7 from IGN, and an 8.5 from Game Informer, US Gamer gave it a 4 out of 5, and Destructoid gave it an 8 out of 10.
So normally there are some outliers where someone will just, because of reasons, give it like a 47, but those are all actually really good scores. This is just such unusual territory for Sonic lately. And the reviews completely reflect that. They're all filled with loads of superlatives, with several reviewers going as far as calling it maybe the best Sonic game since Sonic the Hedgehog 2, not that the bar has been particularly high for that, and others saying it's one of the best platformers of all time.
In terms of positives, critics felt that Sonic Mania nailed the remixes of the old stages and made the boss encounters fresh. They also loved the brand new levels and particularly the bonus stages, plus it's got some of the best music in the series, which is saying something. And on the negative side, there's not really enough new content.
But let's get into the actual reviews. Generally speaking, critics felt Sonic Mania did a wonderful job of blending the new with the old. GameSpot said Sonic Mania exceeds expectations of what a new game in the franchise can look and play like, managing to simultaneously be a charming celebration of the past and a natural progression of the series' classic 2D formula.
Fortunately, the game goes a lot further than just remixing or throwing a fresh coat of paint on the Sonic we all know and love. For many critics, Sonic Mania is a masterclass in level design with a huge variety in the levels and types of problems you'll encounter.
Attack of the Fanboy called the new stages mechanically breathtaking instead of the old ones. Yes, most of these zones are the ones that longtime Sonic fans have played to death, but the developers were prudent enough to do just enough to each of those older zones to make them feel like they weren't simply recycled to be used as fluff. What's more, each of those changes were successful for the most part, and really helped to make each of the returning zones feel fresh.
DualShockers felt the same way, writing, "It can't be said enough how well designed each level of Sonic Mania is. I played through multiple acts of multiple times and found myself taking a different route each time. This opens up even more when you play through a level as Sonic, Tails, or Knuckles, who each have different abilities. In a game all about speed, any route I took felt like I was going to get where I was going fast."
Well, that's kind of the point. Really, the praise for the game's levels continues with every review across the board, so you're in pretty good shape there. GameSpot, for instance, called the level design the best in the series, and fortunately for completionists, that great level design apparently lends itself to multiple playthroughs, so you got that too.
IGN said Sonic Mania has all the crucial elements that go into making a great Sonic adventure. Big, elaborate stages, responsive controls and movement physics, interesting and engaging tricks and traps, lots of hidden nooks and crannies to discover, and hazards that'll challenge you to stay alert and act fast. I replayed many of these stages over and over, finding little nuances and secrets that eluded me the first, second, and even fifth time around.
Alright, that all sounds pretty awesome. If the level design sheer fun factor of blasting through it all at full speed wasn't enough, there's also the game's soundtrack, with many critics calling it stellar. US Gamer praised the soundtrack and presentation, writing, "Both the familiar and new zones glisten with newfound energy, and the soundtrack, composed by musician T. Lopes, helps bring a modern finesse to it all. Sonic Mania isn't just rewriting the Sonic formula, it's bringing it to the modern age and making it work with all the pixelated niceties modern technology can muster."
In the midst of all those gushing reviews, there were some negatives out there. In particular, some reviewers weren't always fans of some of the game's shticks. Whether that was mini-bosses, boss battles, or special stages, each reviewer seemed to have their own thing that they didn't enjoy as much as the rest of the game.
And there's the outliers. For instance, GamesBeat's beef was with the special blue stages. They wrote, but playing these long, difficult, and sometimes nauseating blue sphere stages so often breaks up the flow of the classic Sonic gameplay, you could actually spend more time in them than the actual level if you enter every bonus stage portal you find. I eventually just decided to ignore them.
In addition to all of that, there were a few minor complaints that the game saw some unfair difficulty spikes, which is basically what you expect from almost every Sonic game ever. But for the most part, the main negative sentiment was that Sonic Mania needed more new stuff because the new stuff was just so damn fun.
That's a good problem to have, I think. The Sixth Axis wrote, Sonic Mania also includes a handful of unique zones exclusive to this game, and these just show the inventiveness of the team involved with the project. To say any more than this would spoil just how good these levels are, but my only real gripe with Sonic Mania is that I wanted more of these original levels and to see the ingenuity of the designers with a blank slate.
And Attack of the Fanboy agreed, saying, for me the only thing that holds this game back is the fact that there aren't more new zones. Yes, the old stages, even Hydro City, did have a new feel to them, but that fact is mitigated somewhat since there were so many of them. Each of the new stages were amazing, and it was frustrating to play through an entirely new zone knowing that I'd have to play through essentially 2 or 3 old ones before I would see another.
So basically, man, that game was really fun, wish it had more brand new stuff. That's fair. To sum it all up, it sounds like Sonic Mania is more than just a boring old nostalgia play overall, which is great. It manages to not only emulate its forebears, but actually exceeds them in a number of ways. So if you're itching for something really old school to play, particularly a good Sonic game, then it sounds like Sonic Mania is the game you've been waiting for at this point, decades.
What do you guys think of all these positive reviews of Sonic Mania? Let us know in the comments.
And for future updates on Going Fast, remember to like this video, and if you're new around here, subscribe to the know.
In the timing, as for how the new reviews of Sonic Mania break out from the an 8.5 from Game Informer, I said Game Informer weird. It can't be said enough how well designed each. Fuck. I must go back up to the top. DualShockers felt the same way, writing, DualShockers felt the same.